Hey there, Cohort. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. I hope this early day in October, Tuesday to be exact, the Tuesday tune in, finds you enjoying the weather. We got a little rain today and hopefully tomorrow, some more tomorrow and the next, and keeping temperatures, oh my gosh, in the 80s. And I think we have a day in the 70s on Thursday. So exciting stuff happening around here from a weather standpoint. I wanted to touch base with you. Last week was crazy for us. We were recovering from the Digital Education Summit, and plus we had some major other stuff come down. So while we were grading, I didn't really get a chance to put together the update for you. So I wanted to make sure I do that this week. So right now, I want to talk to you a little bit about where we were, right? So specifically, the stuff that was due this Sunday, I have to tell you how impressed I was. You guys did in this last unit. What I loved was the multimedia unit, or the that you did, and even prior to that, the elements of design unit. I also liked, as well as the SLOs unit as well. But the multimedia unit I like because you guys were just spot on with the ability to get your video assignments turned in. Honestly, you guys have been the best cohort I have had where instructors have been able to easily submit their video as an assignment. And I don't know if that was the multitude of instructions we provided, or you guys are just all bang up experts. But I really appreciated it. I loved how a few of you leveraged the multimedia tool to walk students through your course. And that is a powerful thing, much like we did in our orientation and then made that a recording. The ability to show your students how to successfully navigate your own content is a boon. So good on you, well done there. And then just folks doing the introductions, making that personal connection that we want to try to have in this environment. So I have to tell you, really liked it. I also really liked, in light of the ISTE standards, what you guys contributed in your journals around multimedia and how important those were, and then in some cases how you might decide to leverage that for your students, right? So that was good, really good stuff, and I'm really glad to see the interaction that we've been seeing. So that was what was due Sunday. Let's talk about Thursday and then the following Sunday. So we're coming into Module 6 that's due Thursday. And of course, Module 6 deals with collaboration. And that's one of those touchy subjects for some of us. How do we get students to collaborate? How can we get them to interact with each other in a digital environment? Well, there are multiple tools for that to happen, right? The easiest or the low-hanging fruit might even be the discussion forum, right? The ability to get them talking back and forth there. We actually talk a little bit about some other things that you can do that might help collaborate and engagement and some other activities. But one of the things, the best way to let students know what's expected of them is probably the best way to get them engaged, right? Making sure that they know what they need to do. So one of the activities that we're going to have you do in this particular unit is to provide some expectations, student expectations and instructor expectations for your student. But aside from that, as we think about collaboration, we think about getting students to work together or work in concert, and that could happen in many different ways. Group activities, the ability to work together on a project. We're going to leverage a tool in this unit that I think is kind of fun, and that's a VoiceThread tool. I think of VoiceThread as almost like the ability to have a multimedia discussion, and you'll see it when you jump into the platform. We provide some instructions on how to interact with it and how to do recording, but I'm going to encourage you when you do the activity, and it's called Share the Surplus. It's all about sharing your own best practice, but to find a way to add in your own when you interact. If you have to, just do text, but realize that you can also do video, audio, even audio via your phone to respond to the prompt within that particular activity. And hopefully you'll find that activity somewhat engaging, even some of the things we talk about in that activity as being engaging. We want you to share in that activity strategies for engagement that have worked for you or maybe haven't worked for you. But anyway, that's the Share the Surplus activity, and that's what's coming up due this Thursday. Sunday, we're getting into our second to last module, that assessment module, where we talk about building the assessment strategy, and we get into that overall assessment strategy, and we talk about being collaborative. So I think there's a lot of stuff going on. I think that you'll find it helpful. We're almost at the tail end point of the cohort, so I'm excited to be here with you. So that's kind of what's going on. Obviously, Thursday, the collaboration unit and the activities in the collaboration unit, the workbook, your course expectations assignment, and the collaborative Share the Surplus activity. Then we'll get in, that's due Thursday, and then Sunday is the next unit, right? So now let's talk about something a little different. I want to talk to you about a way that you can increase some engagement, but also help your students to actively learn or actively respond as they're getting into things you want to tell them, right? One of the drawbacks, if you will, about digital learning is that sometimes an aspect of what I can do in the classroom might be missing, meaning that in the midst of showing them something or talking about something, I can in a live kind of inline way get their temperature on it, see how their understanding is, right? So there are ways I can simulate that, like really, I can have them watch something and then go do an activity right after that talks about their understanding. But what about if I wanted them to watch a video and answer questions as they're making their way through it? Well, we do have a tool that you can use for that. I suggest using it in a low stakes way, only because I like it as a fun, engaging tool to check for understanding as they're working through projects or problems. And that is a Kaltura video quiz. And I'm going to show you how you can implement one of those in your course. And this is your bonus added material for today's session. So I'm here in my healthy eating course, and I'm going to add an activity, a video quiz that I want my students to do, right? So if I go down to the bottom, you'll see I actually have one in there, but I'm going to come in and add another one. So I'm going to do this. It's the Kaltura. It's the tool we actually had you use for your multimedia assignment, believe it or not, but it's just a different facet of that tool. So I am going to click on my plus down here and go to Content Market, because remember, that's where Kaltura, from the instructor side, that's the way for me to add that content into my course. And then I can scroll down to my Ks and Kaltura Video Quiz. Now, if I had already created a video quiz, here's where I could just select one, right? That I want to embed. If I have one, I want to add, boom, I can do that. In this instance, I want to walk you through how you create a video quiz so you can kind of see how that looks, right? We have a quick start guide for this in our instructor support org, should you need it, but I wanted to give you a little bit more of a multimedia walkthrough of the process, right? So I'm going to go up here to my Add New option, and I'm going to zoom in just a little so you can kind of see what's going on here. Boom, we're a little closer, a little easier to see for everybody. I'm going to click on Add New. And one of my options here is video quiz. So I'm going to select it. Now, here we are. It says, okay, Jacob, you want to do a video quiz. What video do you want to select? Well, if I need to find it, right? So I want to turn something into a quiz. What is it that I want to turn into a quiz? So you'll notice that I've got some things in here. I've got some instructions for how things need to work. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one of these. I'm going to select the little assignment, the assignment instructions I gave you for how to submit the workbook activity. One of the first assignment videos I gave you in this cohort. So I'm going to select it, and it will take me into the Kaltura video quiz builder, if you will. So here it is. Here's the video quiz builder. So the details. Here's the title. So I might just call this video quiz and module 1, just for instance. Here I have a welcome message. That welcome message could be a little bit more than this. It could be like, hey, watch the video. I need you to make sure you watch the whole video. We're going to have questions in there to make sure that you are watching it to gauge your understanding. And that's another bonus to having them answer questions as they're working their way through the video, right? It helps keep them focused. The drop off will be less because they know they've got to pay attention. And so there's that. And then I have some options here, right? So show welcome page. I always think that's a good idea. And then so the welcome message, whatever I want that to be. Allow download a question list. This might actually be beneficial in some ways, and other ways it may not. It's just up to how you want to do it. But you can't allow them the ability to download the questions prior to watching the video so they can prep for them. You can choose no if you don't want that. Instructions. The following text will be displayed. All questions must be answered. The quiz will be submitted at the end. Boom. Obviously, I think that's a good idea to keep those instructions in there. Then you get into your scores unit. Right? So right now, you've got upon submission, do you allow multiple attempts? That is up to you. Do you allow viewers to take the quiz more than once? That's that first one. Then do not show scores. If I don't want them to see the score, then I'm not going to let them see it. But I want them to see the scores or not show the scores. That's up to me, right? Then there's your viewers will see the quiz score page after the quiz is submitted. Do you want to include the answers with that? Yes or no? Depending upon how serious this is, you might want to, but because I'm trying to check for understanding, I'm going to go ahead and say no. I want to make sure that they're not sharing that information. Or I can say yes and then have them show up. And I'll show you what that looks like. So here we are. Then we get the last one, which is the experience. Experience has kind of got some important things in it, and that is allowing answers to change so they can come back and decide to change an answer after a while. Allow them to skip ahead. Do not allow them to skip or skip a question. And then seeking forward, allowing them to go through to the next question should they want to. Maybe they want to watch the video once and come back and answer the questions. That's up to them. But no seeking forward. Users will not be able to use the seek bar to navigate the video past the point that they viewed. There's that, right? So here, when I'm ready to start, and I can close this again, you'll see first that I've got the video editor, the quiz up here in the editor right now. And to begin is where I'll start to add questions. So what I want to do is to actually play the video and then stop it where I want to put a question. So here we go.
Hey there, everybody. Really quickly, this is a quick how-to on how to actually do the self-assessment workbook assignments from the technical standpoint, right?
I'm going to add my first question, and I'm going to choose to add a question. And you'll notice that I have some options here. I can choose the multiple question type, multiple choice. I can choose a reflection point, a video pause combined with text. I might want them to think about something, right, rather than just put a question. Then there's the true, false, or open-ended question. Answer this question with your own words. Obviously, the true, false, and multiple choice are going to be the ones that are automatically graded, right? That I don't have to go back in and pay attention to these kinds of things. So I'm going to choose true, false. And it says, okay, Jacob, let's put in your question. Well, I will do so. I'm going to add my question text here. Just pretend I typed all that. This is a quick how-to on how to do the self-assessment assignments from the technical standpoint, which is what I just said in the video, so it better be true, right? I could change it to false simply by clicking next to the false, and it would change the check mark next to false, but I know it's true. Not going to quote Milli Vanilli there. And when I'm ready, I'm going to hit save. It then places that question down here on my timeline at this juncture, right? At 8 seconds. Now I'm going to hit play again and go on.
The academic instructions are in there answering those questions, but how do I get the document and then save it and download it and upload it, that kind of a thing, right? So you start with your module, and we're going to go into our module where the assignment is, in this case, module 1, remembering that I can't even access the assignment until I actually read and watch and listen to all of the content on that first page.
Okay, time for another question. And this is going to be a multiple choice. So I'm going to choose multiple choice. And I can move through a module page once I read, watch, listen. And I added another one called all of the above. Right? But wait, you'll notice that it actually, I need to come down to all of the above. And I think, oh, you know what it is? I remember now. So for these, it's going to, by default, make the first one the right one. So I'm going to change read to all of the above. And come down here and make that read. Now, it's not fancy. It's not going to randomize these, so I may want to put all of the above at the bottom, in the middle, wherever I want it to go. And I can do so by dragging on these little dots there. And when I'm ready, I'll hit save. And then it adds that second question down here at the 30-second mark. Question 2. And then I'll hit play once more.
So I'm going to go back, and I've already looked at it all. So I'm going to go ahead and run into that assignment that I'm talking about, that self-assessment workbook assignment that we do in each module. So now I'm going to choose Start.
So
it will then open up.
You can see here,
the wonderful
I'm having to watch through the movie to add these questions. So you may not want the video to be super long, depending.
As part of the assignment,
that's up to you.
It tells me that I need to actually download it, save it to my local computer, and then name it. So in this case, I could just copy this text, right, if I wanted to. And save it, and then edit it, and upload it, and reattach it.
All right, so there is the space for our next question. So I'm going to choose add a question and choose true and false. The correct process for getting this assignment successfully submitted is to download, right? Save to local device, edit, answer questions, save again, right? And then upload, attach to assignment, and submit, right? And I know that's the right process, so I'm gonna leave it as true and hit save. Okay, so let's say that I've done these things. I've added all the questions to this video, the quiz that I'm going to add, because this is way too long for us to sit here together and watch this entire video. I will then choose, once I'm ready, I can hit done. And I have the option to preview the quiz or edit the quiz. And I'm going to choose save and embed. Ta-da! So now down here, I've got video quiz. Module 1 shows up right there. So I'm going to show you what that looks like as a student. I'm going to turn on my student preview, start my preview. I'm going to come down here to where it says Video Quiz Module 1 and start it. It then tells me, hey, do you want to launch this? And I'm going to say, why, yes, I want to launch this. It's going to start up the Kaltura from my standpoint as a student, right? And it's going to load, you'll see the 3 circles happening right here. But as the student, to play this, I just click play and it says, hey, welcome. In this video, I'm going to be given a quiz. Good luck. All the questions must be answered. The quiz will be submitted at the end. So I hit continue.
Hey there, everybody. Really quickly, this is a quick how-to on how to actually do the self-assessment workbook assignments from the technical standpoint, right?
So you're going to see down at the bottom there, those little numbers on the timeline signify where in the video that question was, right? So I know it's true. And I hit select. So you select select the answer, then select select.
How do I get the document and then save it and download it and upload it, that kind of a thing, right? So you start with your module.
And so now I can wait for it, or I can go ahead and click down here on the question.
Remember,
because I gave them that ability. I can choose to not let them do that to make sure they walk through the entire video. Remember, that was one of the options that I said at the beginning. I can move through the module page once I watch, listen, read, all of the above as the answer. So I select the answer, then choose select.
So I'm going to go back.
And then it goes through the quiz again. And so it takes me to the last question. The correct process for is this. And I hit select.
What I'm going to do
now, once I am answered all the questions, I can either watch the video to the end, depending upon how long it is, or I can go to the end of the quest where it says, see that little cube? That will let me submit it. So as a student, I click the cube. It says, hey, you've completed. Do you want to review or submit? I'm going to submit. Remember, I did say that I wanted to complete the quiz and see your scores 100%. Woohoo! Press any question to review how you performed. God, oh, awesome, great job, you know. And then I did it. I can look at all these and see the answer. So from the student standpoint, ta-da, I submitted it. So now I'm going to go back in as the instructor and save my student data. I think this is a points-based and not a percentage-based grade book, so it won't be 100%. It'll be point. You'll see in a second. So if I go to my grade book, go to Jacob Spradlin, all the way to the right. Yep, it was because it's a point-based rubric and not a percentage-based rubric. It gave me a 1 instead of a 100, and that's fine. But you'll see that the grade is there. So I now know I can hit view. Actually, no, I can't hit view here. That puts the point there. Now, if I want to see a little bit more information about this particular video outside of the gradebook view, I can do it, believe it or not, right? So what I can do is I can actually go back here to my course. I can go to my books and tools and scroll down to Kaltura. And it's going to open up my gallery, right? Oh, I need to actually look elsewhere. My bad. It's not going to be here. Give me just a second. So let me see if I can get it this way. Bear with me for just a second, y'all. Okay, this is my preview of said video quiz, right? So that's super exciting. So that's not what I want. I could actually go back to my main gallery, and I'll do that going here under my this here and go to Tools on my base navigation stream there. Go to Kaltura My Media. This is where I needed to go because I didn't place it in my local gallery. So here's that video quiz module 1, right? Were I to click on said video quiz module 1, I can look down here and actually find some more information. What does that mean? That means I can go here under Actions and go to Analytics. And then I'll have the ability to see who's interacted, what the quiz questions were, and who the quiz users who have interacted with it so far. One person has. I can click on Jacob and shows how he got it right here as well. So I can look at it in both places, right? I can go to my gradebook and see that they did it, or I can go here and see that they did it. But this in itself, the video quiz tool, is a fun tool that can be a little bit more engaging, to add a little wrinkle. Now, I will say that I don't use it for everything. I use it more for competency, mastery, understanding, not necessarily for like if they're looking through a unit really quick and I want them to have a quick way to quiz themselves on how they did, or watch a video, for instance, and see how they did. That is a fun way for them to figure that out. I hope you found it helpful. Remember, you can find the Kaltura Video Quiz Quick Start Guide under Organizations in the Teaching Online with Blackboard Faculty Resource and Instructor Support org. And you can find it in a couple different places, right? So I've got Quick Start resources, but then I also have other resources, not just Blackboard Associated Tools, for instance, has some stuff here. And I can go to Kaltura. And there's Kaltura, some Kaltura guides, or I can come up here to Ultra Quick Start resources, and go to Ultra Quick Start Guides. Scroll down for the Ks. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. And I get down the Ks, and then I have the quiz that I can actually walk through this Quick Start Guide and get access to it. Here, it's just a printable guide that I can take and download, and it walks me through the steps that I just did with this video. Hope you found it helpful. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Sorry this video is a little longer than normal. Hope you enjoyed your Tuesday tune-in, and I look forward to learning from you as you make your way through the program.